In Japan, getting fired is almost impossible. But this isn't kindness. Well, it's the result of a career system unlike anywhere else. Today, I will show you how Japan created jobs for life. You probably believe that career begins after we finish our studies. However, the unique career system in Japan actually begins during university. In Japan, many people don't wait until after graduation to look for a job. They are already hired while still in university, but they don't start working right away. They usually begin their jobs in April after finishing 4 years of study. For those unfamiliar with Japan, it's essential to note that April marks the beginning of several significant milestones in Japan, including moving up a grade, graduating, and starting work as a new employee. And here is the surprising part. Not just like big companies like Toyota or Sony, almost every company in Japan starts its hiring season around every March. So in their third year of university, many students begin job hunting, a process called shūkatsu in Japanese. This system is really weird, known as mass hiring of new graduates, allows company to reduce hiring costs and efficiently bring in large numbers of young workers each year. Some major companies even hire thousands of students every year. But why do so many companies hire students at the same time every year? Well, that's because most Japanese companies follow a culture where employees are trained from zero. Well, think about it. Students typically have very little real-world experience or skills. So Japanese companies focus not on current ability, but on potential, which is why this is called potential-based hiring in Japan. And as long as this system is in place, companies will be less likely to suffer from a shortage of human resources each year. However, this combination of mass hiring and the long-term potential-focused approach is just the entry point into Japan's larger career system, and it plays a crucial role in understanding everything that comes after. This investment in people naturally led to another key idea. If you train someone from scratch, you want them to stay forever. In return for the effort companies put into nurturing their employees, Japan developed a culture where staying at the same company until retirement became the norm. This system is known as lifetime employment, which is called shūshin-koyo in Japanese, a practice where employees are expected to remain within the same company until they retire, as long as the company itself doesn't go bankrupt or suffer a major crisis. But of course, in reality, some people do switch jobs, and some companies do, go out of business. But the idea of sticking with one company unless something extreme happens is still deeply rooted in Japanese work culture. In large companies, around 40% of people aged 50 to 59 have never changed jobs. But this figure is very high compared to other countries. And then now you might be thinking, what if your salary doesn't go up? How do you survive at the same company your full life? But don't worry, there is a system for that. It's called Nenko Joretsu in Japanese, which means seniority-based pay. In this system, your salary and the position increase as you age and stay longer with the company, regardless of actual performance. Even in the same department, older employees often earn more and hold higher positions, simply because they have been around longer. This is closely tied to Japan's cultural respect for age and hierarchy. If you've studied Japanese, you might know keigo, a polite language used for seniors and superiors. That reflects how in Japan being older isn't just about age, it comes with certain built-in authority, even if it doesn't always make logical sense. I once had a senior colleague who didn't seem especially capable, but more just because of tenure. I was frustrated, but also thought, That's just how it works here in Japan. Combined with lifetime employment, this seniority-based system provides a sense of stability. But knowing your job is secure allows many workers to focus on long-term growth, which is why companies rarely need to fire anyone. And even today, many Japanese companies still follow this model. But here's a question that might be on your mind. What if someone clearly isn't doing their job? Can they be fired? Well, in Japan, the answer is basically no. Or at least it's extremely difficult. There are several legal categories of dismissal, but each with strict requirements. Even if an employee repeatedly makes mistakes and shows no motivation, poor performance alone usually isn't enough to justify termination. Technically, it's possible, but the legal process is, complex, costly, and risky. Why companies often avoid it to prevent lawsuits, internal backlash, or damage to their reputation. When someone is fired in Japan, people often assume something seriously happened, or that the company may have violated the law. But personally, I've lived in Japan my whole life and have very heard of anyone being fired. So Japan's "you don't get fired" culture isn't just about company tradition. It's backed by a powerful legal structure that makes termination extremely rare. But you might still wonder, is it really possible to not work hard and still keep your job? Well, Japanese companies aren't stupid, but they are cunning enough. Because firing someone is so difficult here in Japan, companies have developed clever ways. One method is internal job transfers. Unlike job-based system common in the West, Japan uses a membership-based system. Employees are hired as general members of the company, not for specific role. That is why someone who studied computer science may be assigned to sales. This gives companies the freedom to reassign employees across departments, including to less desirable positions. In cases of poor performance, this can become what's informally called sasen in Japanese, which is demotion. Officially, it's just a transfer, but it sends a message: we no longer expect much from you. While employees might be sent to distant branches, irrelevant departments, or meaningless projects. These changes don't violate any laws, but they often push employees to resign voluntarily. And the thing is, in Japan's culture of read the room, people usually understand what's being implied. While in countries where your degree defines your job, this would be nearly impossible. But in Japan, it's part of the system. That said, this kind of soft exit is used for a small minority of employees. So if you work hard and stay honest, it likely won't apply to you, so no worry. So what impact does this unique system have on Japanese society? Well, this Japan's post-war employment system has been deeply embedded in society for over 70 years. While during the country's rapid economic growth, this system worked really well. That is why Japan is here now. But also, that is why Japan is here now. You know what I mean? But today, many see it as a case of economic stagnation. Stability is valued over results, tradition over innovation. In a world where no one gets fired, fresh ideas struggle to emerge. And the sense of job security comes at a cost, but limited freedom, weak competition, and fewer opportunities for personal growth. But people often say that Japanese workers can handle almost any task with solid, reliable quality, but they rarely deliver the kind of exceptional, boundary-pushing performance you would expect from a true specialist. But since your career isn't based on your major or personal passion sometimes, deeply mastering a skill is uncommon in Japan. So while it may look like a kind society, it's also one where average is often more rewarded than exceptional. So is this system changing? Well, the answer is yes, slowly, but surely. While more companies are shifting to year-round and job-based hiring, focusing on actual skills rather than students' potential. But at the same time, most students now value work-life balance and flexible career paths over job security. Some companies have even declared that lifetime employment is no longer sustainable. As a result, early retirement programs and promotion are becoming more common in Japan. While today, changing job is no longer rare, it's becoming a normal part of building a career. But of course, deeply rooted systems take time to change. But many companies still follow the traditional model, unfortunately. But one thing is clear, Japan's old school career system is gradually giving way to something new. A model better suited to today's challenges and values. Well, Japan's career system may be very different from what you are used to. Do you think it's a good idea or outdated? What kind of career system do you prefer? Share your thoughts in the comment box below. And if this gave you a new insight into Japanese society, check out this next video. It goes even deeper. Right, so thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.